Pittsburgh Steelers inside linebacker Patrick Queen curses out the Steelers defense, saying they need to get on the same page, they need to play with some urgency, and stuff could get bad real quick. But first, before I get more into that, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also like this video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, after the Pittsburgh Steelers loss to Patrick Queen's former team, the Baltimore Ravens, this past Saturday, Patrick Queen called out the defense because he was pissed off at how the Pittsburgh Steelers have been playing, especially on defense, these past few weeks. And he knows that things could go bad real quick. He said this. Here's his quote. "Guys gotta take a long look in the mirror and get better. If you're supposed to be in a certain position, you gotta be in the effing position. And it's as simple as that." Games this late in the year, you gotta be on one stream. You gotta be on one accord. Everybody gotta be doing their job at a high level. If you're not doing your job at a high level, then ish is going to get ugly real quick. End quote. So you can see how passionate Patrick Queen is about how his defense and how the team has not played up to the standards of the Steelers defense these past few weeks. And it's a good thing that he's calling them out, because the Steelers, they rely too much on turnovers. But when they don't get the turnovers and they don't get the forced fumbles, the sacks that they're accustomed to, then they need to find a different way. They need to be in the right spots at the right time. And especially against these good teams that they've been facing the past few weeks, they cannot lose it now. And we're only going to get tougher as the playoffs head around, and Patrick Queen knows that. He's been on teams that have been in the playoffs when he was with the Ravens. He knows what it takes to be in a deep playoff run. So he wants the Steelers to do the same thing, and he wants the Steelers to win some playoff games, and it all starts with speaking up about this defense and getting everyone on the same page and getting everyone to step up and play at a high level. And that's what he's doing. And I believe it's a good thing what he's doing, calling out this defense in the media so everyone can see it when it's in the media, and hopefully they respond in a good way. And when you look at Patrick Queen's comments about the Steelers defense and be on the same page, and they need to be on the same page, it was because of the miscommunication. You look at it, and the wide open touchdown to Mark Andrews. What was the cause of that? Miscommunication, not being lined up in the right spot. For example, Minkah Fitzpatrick and an inside linebacker, they're both going to the same person, Derrick Henry, and leaving that guy wide open, Mark Andrews, for a wide open touchdown. It was a fake pitch to Derrick Henry and a wide open throw because both guys left their assignments, weren't on the same page, and that leads to a free touchdown. And Patrick Queen knows that. And it's not just that one play, it's all game. Not being in the right holes in terms of stopping the run, letting Derrick Henry run for 6 yards plus every single play, even before contact. And that's because you're in the wrong spot. So Patrick Queen sees the miscommunication, knows the Steelers need to get on the same page quickly, because it's only going to get worse from here if you're not, especially against these good teams. You would think that was it from Patrick Queen, but it wasn't. That was just the beginning of his quotes and him going off on this team and the defense. He said, starting from top to bottom, we've got to be teammates, because if you aren't doing this for your brother and you aren't doing this to see your brother succeed by just doing your job, you're doing a diverse for this team. I'd say we got to take a long look in the mirror personally, individually, and see where this team wants to go. If we aren't all on the same page, then you've got to get off of the ship. It's not just Baltimore. It's the fact that it's sloppy football. I love the game too much for this ish that happened today to just fly by and pass. It's just simple stuff that shouldn't be happening happens. You gotta have some sense of urgency, especially with this type of game. All the stuff is riding on this game. And then just getting into the back half of the season, postseason stuff, this is when you're supposed to be taking off as a defense, not falling back. End quotes. So Patrick Queen just went off, and everything he said was right, and he's in the right for calling out this defense. Someone has to say it, and at least someone is passionate to say it and getting on the defense, because we can't just letting this go by, and Patrick Queen knows that, and he's doing a good job. He's not a captain of this team, but based off his words, he should be. And if everyone was as passionate as he was to win games and be on the same page, then maybe the Steelers defense would be better. So That was basically all Patrick Queen's quotes. He cursed out the defense. He said many times that the Steelers need to get on the same page, and if you're not planning on getting on the same page, then jump off the ship. Don't stay with us. Go play somewhere else. Go do something else. Go be on the bench. And everyone who wants to put their hand in the pile and get it together and start playing as a team, start playing as a brotherhood, then stay on the ship. Let's get this together and let's get going. And he's absolutely right. He said this point in the year, the defense should not be falling off. And that should be the case, because the Steelers defense seems like it plays good all year, and late towards the end of the season, when they start facing the good teams, then it falls off. No, at this point in the season, there should be no more mistakes. We're heading to playoffs here shortly. The Steelers are going to be first round exits again if they keep playing the way they're playing, especially with a defense that's supposed to be the solid foundation of this team and something the Steelers could rely on, because the offense doesn't look like it's going to be a top tier offense, put up 30 plus points every single week. They're gonna have to rely on their defense, and if they can't rely on their defense, then they're gonna lose in the first round again, just like they've done so however many years. Not winning a playoff game in 7+ years. That's unacceptable. The Steelers defense needs to get together. Patrick Queen calls them out, and it's absolutely right in what he's doing. And the thing is, though, you could say that the Steelers are injured, especially on the defensive backs. They're missing Deshaun Elliott. They're missing Dante Jackson. They're missing Joey Porter Jr. for basically the entire game, having to play with backups. But still, those players have been on the team for however many years. DeMonte KZ, he's been on the team for 2 or 3 years now. He should know what he's doing in the second half, and he should not be laying up an easy touchdown in the corner of the end zone. You look at some other players who step in. James Pierre's been on this team a long time. He's a secondary player, sure. He's a backup, but he's still been on this team for how long? He should know the scheme by now. Even Minkah Fitzpatrick, he had some mishaps in the game as well, and he's been having some mishaps later in the end of the season so far in the last few games. Yes, he got his interception, but still, these players have been on the team long enough that there should not be these mistakes, especially from the veterans of this team. Yes, you could expect it from maybe Corey Trice, who's playing his 4th game all season in his entire career. Yes, you could expect some mishaps from them, but the players that have been here a long time, you don't expect that from them, especially late in the season. You expect the defense to be whole and together, and Patrick Queen is trying to get everyone on the same page. And if everyone listens to what he's trying to say, if everyone is on the same page, the Steelers defense could be elite. But if they're not on the same page, then they're just an ordinary defense, just like one of the worst defenses in the NFL. But not only is he calling out the players, to be honest, you could be calling out the defensive coordinator too as well, because the defensive coordinator, Terrell Austin, has not been really good basically all season, and he's been relying most on his talent in terms of TJ Watt, these forced fumbles all season long. His scheme has not been good. He sends no blitzes, especially when the offensive line of the Eagles were all injured. You would think there'd be more blitzes with some backups in there. No, there's basically no pressure that he's ever sending, and just relying on the playmakers to make plays, relying on the superstars to carry your team. There's really no defensive scheme. So even he needs to get on the same page as well. It's not just the players that need to be on the same page and do good. It's a defense coordinator that needs to step up and do good calling plays as well. And I know Mike Tomlin has some say in the defensive coordinator spot and the defensive plays as well. So it's both him and Terrell Austin who need to step up as well. And this defense in general, Patrick Queen, Cameron Hayward, TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, James Pierre, Dante Jackson, Joey Porter Jr., Minkah Fitzpatrick, all these guys need to step up and play well, coach well, and get it together. Later in the end of the season, we need to get on this playoff push and stop losing in the first round of the playoffs. And this defense needs to do its job. Patrick Queen is absolutely 100% correct, and at least someone is saying it, calling out this team, because we all think it. At least someone is saying it and isn't scared to say it. So anyway, Patrick Queen, he calls out this defense, and he should. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on Patrick Queen's comments, his quotes, everything like that. Do you think he should have said this? Do you think he should have held back? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on the Steelers defense, and do you think it needs to be fixed in a hurry? We have a quick turnaround against a really good team, the first place team in the conference, the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's see if the Pittsburgh Steelers are able to turn around tomorrow and fix all the problems on a short week and play much better as a defense. Also, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn notifications, like I said, for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, analysis, reports, rumors, everything surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers, I cover it. So stay tuned to this channel, and until next time, until the next video, I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace. And one last thing, before I end this video, I made a kind of reaction analysis video to the Steelers versus the Ravens game, breaking down the real reason why the Steelers defense played like absolute trash against the Ravens. So if you want to go ahead and see a breakdown of the trash defense, go ahead and watch that video. But peace, and I'll see you guys all later.